Hello everyone, how are we today? Just was making sure I was on the right page and everything was okay. How are we? It's Monday again, can you believe it? Monday. Not long to go till on stage. Just got to make sure my volume's down. Just as well I check that. Yeah, this time, won't be long and we have on stage next week. Yeah, next week. I leave on Tuesday to head up to Brisbane. So can you believe it? I can't. My craft room looks like a bomb because I'm busy trying to get all my classes finished and my cards for on stage done as well. It will happen. It will be a mad rush, but what's new? Sometimes I think I work better under pressure than I do when I've got all the time in the world. It's the way it is. So anyway, we've in a new month, we've got no celebration happening anymore. That has finished. I hope you got what you were after, as there were a lot of great specials there, a lot of freebies that you could have used. But that doesn't mean you can't order from the mini catalogue or the annual catalogue or the online exclusives. They're all there. So today I've got something a bit different. I've using some paper from one pack, matching it with a stamp set, and I think you'll like it. It's a masculine card. I can easily do female cards. Masculine cards, well, I think we're all in the same boat. They're a lot harder to do than we think. Why? I don't know. But anyway, it's what happens. So that's what will be. Anyway, we'll pop the camera around and we will get started. So please bear with me as I do this. And I'll just... Right. There we go. It's got it nice. Okay. Hope that looks correct for you. I feel like I'm a bit crooked, but anyway, we're there. So this is our mini catalogue, which is still running. Don't forget about it, because you don't want to miss that one. And I'm just trying to find something that I had here a minute ago, and you know what it's like, you know, you move things around and then you can't find it and it disappears. And this one's doing a good job on me. I hate. There it is. Okay, so what I'm going to go and have a look in our mini catalogue, I've taken these beautiful plaid, Timeless Plaid Designer Series paper. And they're just perfect for any mail card. It's a great one to use with the storybook papers, but I wanted to go something different. So I've chosen a piece of paper with that. And then I've gone to page 52. And I got this stamp set, which I fell in love with the minute I saw it. Now, I'm a bookworm. I like my books. I like reading. And this one spoke to me. And I thought, well, let's do something with this. I got this mainly because I like this to pop it inside my books so that I've got it when I lend them out. Because I've got a bad habit of lending them out, and guess what? Forgotten who I've lent them to, and sometimes my favourite books don't come back. So this is what I'm using today. And it's a great set. The bundle is $51.25, so it's not an expensive one. Stamp set's $32, and then you've got a few die cuts in your dies, which is just that's the stamp set there, and the dies are here. And you get, oops, my sticky has all come apart, so I've got to put this onto a magnetic sheet. So you get your large book, your pages, have like a comb and a couple of little tags that you can use. So I'll go through those as we go along. Okie dokie. I'm thinking of that comb one. I haven't cut it out yet, but it'd be lovely to play with that and make combs. So I'll grab my cardstock and I'm going to use Pebble Path. I love this colour. It's, to me, a colour that you can use instead of black or a grey. It's just a really nice colour. So I've got a piece of cardstock, 21 centimetres by 14.9, and I have scored it in half at 10.5. So I'll fold that over, and we might as well get this done. Burnish it nice. Then I have a piece of white, actually 2 pieces of white. I might as well tell you what I've got at the same time. 2 pieces of white, 10 centimetres by 14.4. And then I've got a piece of our plaid, and I like this brown one. It's got a check on the other side, but I like the plaid. And that's 9.5 by 13.9. So what I'll do is I'm going to glue these two together. I just hope I'm not going off the page. I'm just going to glue that together and have a nice white border around. I'll then glue this down. I'm gluing this flat onto my card base. And a bit of white, I felt, just really picked up the pattern in the paper. Really jumped it up. So then I've cut a piece of Pebble Path, 7.5 wide and 15.9 down. Now, 15.9, you might think that's a bit of an awkward size, but for me, when I cut it, I laid that piece of cardstock right to the edge of my board, and that's roughly about 15.9, 16 centimetres, but it did the job. So this step I wanted to show you online. So I then take this piece and I very carefully scored 1 centimetre on the side, 1 centimetre at the bottom, and 1 centimetre on the other side. Then I'm going to turn my paper. I'm going to line it up at 4 centimetres and just put a mark at the 4 centimetre mark. And then I'm going to take that mark, put it into the track and turn the tip into the track. And I'll take that like so. And that is my bookmark. Then I have another piece for the front, which is 14.5 by 5.5. Now this piece is to go on here, and we are going to emboss it. To make sure I had it right, what I did was I flipped it over. Now you can either cut it or you can trim it. I chose to cut it. Hello Glenda, how are you today? Did you have a nice weekend? So I just gently cut it across. I just followed up on the line, and then this little piece I've just taken a piece off. Now I've already pre-cut a piece. Go on there, and we'll work with that in a minute. So while I've got the scissors going, I'm just going to cut on a little angle at that point, and on this point. Take that piece away, and I repeat on this other side exactly the same. So you can see there's the piece that I've cut, and you can see how it's been taken out. Hello, Leanne, how are you? Are you excited for on stage, ladies? So now all I've got is this odd shape, but this is what we're going to use. This is how I worked it when I did the folding. So fold that in and burnish it, and then fold the opposite side. This is how I found what worked for me. So, you know, you might find a better method. Then I brought this up. Like so. And the reason I've done this is because, yeah, I know. Oh, you're sorting your craft. Would you like to come and do mine, Glenda? This room looks like a bomb has hit it. That nothing is in any cupboards. It's all over the floor or over the bench. I've been getting organised for classes. I had one yesterday. I've got one Wednesday. And I'm trying to do my swaps. We'll get there. We always do, don't we, ladies? So now that I've done that, I've got some tear and tape, and I put the tear and tape across the top like so. So I'm catching the bottom of that piece there. I've done the same. Yeah, I'm looking forward to on stage, Leanne. I really am. It's a break to get away, but just to catch up with everybody that probably some of you I haven't seen for 12 months. Some of you, when I went last year, I barely knew. You were just a face in the crowd. And yeah, now you're doing your swaps too. Join the club. Now I'm going to spend time with friends, and that's, for me, has been the difference from my first year to this year. So I'm going to take my backing off, but when I'm going to take it off this time, I'm just going to take a small piece at the top, and I'm just going to fold that over. If you use tear and tape and you peel it all off and it sticks to the wrong spot, 9 out of the 10 times you can't. Said no crafter ever, Glinda. Too much stuff and nowhere to put it. I think we've all got too much stuff, and we all seem to still keep buying. There's always something we see and use, and this year I am trying desperately to use up my designer series paper. I'm inclined to hang on to it like glue. Wrong thing to do. Okay, as I said, I've taken those little corners. I'm now going to take this and I'm going to pop it right at the edge of my white, right up to the top. So I've got this little corner here I'm holding down, and I'm just going to pop that in place and just very gently press that end down and this other end down, and then it's sitting in place. Then just peel your tape away. And this is a good way of putting something down that is going to hang on. It sounds like it's a crafter's nightmare, isn't it? There's so much stuff we like to get, and then we get it into our small craft rooms, and next thing we know, we're overloaded with it and trying to work out how to tidy it up. We'll get there eventually. Okay, on my embossed piece, I'm going to take my Pebble Path and my brush, my blending brush, and I'm just going to put some colour around the edge. The embossing folder that I used, which I forgot to tell you, was called the Eyelet 3D embossing folder, and it's such a pretty folder. But even though I'm making this as a man's card, I don't think that the eyelets take it away from being a masculine look. But, you know, you might have something in there, you know, just thinking now out loud. The exposed brick would have been nice. But I think I swung to this one because it's one I've used a few times. I'll just clean up this so I don't get it over everything. Right. So there's that. So you can see how it's just given it a bit of colour. Not a lot, but just enough. And then I'm going to glue that flat to the top of this little patch that I'm making. You're just watching, Lucia. You're not listening to me today. You must be busy. Just put that in place. Just so. So as you can see by the cutting of this strip, there is very little border. When I first tried making this card, I tried embossing it and scoring it, and it didn't quite work the way I would like it to have gone. So I found to put the piece over the top, and that worked perfectly, just putting that little piece like so. Okay, part of the card is done. So I'm going to move that aside. I'm going to take my insert, and I'm going to take a thin piece of white. Actually, yeah. And yep, that's it. I'm going to stop and think for myself what I was doing in there a minute. So I'm going to take Pebble Path. I'm going to take the books. So I've chosen all three of the books. So if you look at here, you've got this set of books, you've got these little ones and these. So what I've gone and done is stamp this up. We're going to do a little bit of watercolouring with our pencils. So I'm going to pop that in there. So there's a layer of books. And then I'm going to pop the second one. I'm going to take this. I'm going to lean these books over because if it's anything like my bookshelf, not all the books are standing straight. Then I'm going to take this one again and I'm going to pop it up here. Psst, didn't ink it too well, but I'll cover that later. And then in there's this gorgeous little pair of glasses. And just going to sit on the top of the top books, a pair of glasses. Just put them aside. Close my ink pad so I don't put my finger in it or my arm or anything else. Now what I'm going to do is just colour these. When I do this, have a piece of paper toweling or a cloth over to the side and then just very gently pick up the colour. It's a fairly dry brush. I'm going to pick up the colour. And while I've got the darkest colour, I'm going to line that at the base of the book. So can you see that there? It's probably too far away. I'll just bring the camera in a little bit so you can see. And you'll have to remind me if I don't put it in the right spot. That looks like it's close enough. So I'm taking the darkest shade and just putting it where the other book is. And then I'll take a little bit of the dark. And you can keep adding if it's not quite the right darkness that you want. I just want a little bit there. A little bit there. And then I'll carry it in there. And then I'm just going to use what's left on my brush to come around. And you can always add to it if you're not happy. Just add a little bit more colour and add that to the thing. So I hope you can see what I'm doing. And books are not necessarily all one colour. I'm going to do the same for the books on top, and that's why I said I wasn't over worried about the dark line there. So this one, because it didn't quite stamp, I'm just going to add a dark line to hide the fact that it didn't stamp properly. That dark colour at the base here and then coming out. Picking it up. A bit more colour in there. So as you can see, it's not hard. It gives it a bit of a shape. So I'm just wiping it on a wipe, taking off the colour from the pencil. With our watercolour pencils, we have 2 packs and they are just brilliant. I did all my Creative Carnival swaps with watercolour pencils. How stupid was I? But it doesn't take long. After I'd done it, I sort of looked back and thought, oh, you did a lot of colouring on that particular one. So I'm basically going to use the same colours in these 2 sets, only because I'm lazy. Just picking up. Just a little bit darker on the top, because that's the we've got a lot of strangers into town at the moment because we've got our big Wimmera Machinery field days. There's people everywhere. And the next 3 days will be crazy out at Longronon College. Farmers will be out there eyeing off these huge tractors, etc. A lot of the schools will allow the kids, the farming kids, a day off to go with their families to the field days. or they take a field trip with the students. After a husband that worked there for quite a number of years, I'm watching him get the week before field days going out there, setting up, and then every morning leaving at daybreak and coming home at night. And then the last day, after the third day, it would be then they have to pack up that night, or they had to pay for extra security. And so they thought, well, let's work until we've finished. So often on the last day of the field days, I might not have seen him for a while. And was absolutely exhausted when he got home. And then he'd have to turn around, go back to work the next day as if nothing had happened. But one year, God love him, he knows I love teddy bears, and he came home with this beautiful little female teddy bear for me, and just did it off his own bat. And I was quite taken by it because it was not what I was expecting. So I was very chuffed that he would think of me like that. Sorry if I'm not talking, ladies. I'm concentrating on what I'm doing, and as you know, you can't talk and concentrate at the same time. Well, I can't. I'm just cleaning off my brush again. Bring your shading into your books, just like you would if you were doing it on a normal card. And if you're not happy with it, when it's dry, you can go back and give it another layer. Just pick up the colour. And, you know, we've got this great array of pencils, so it's always, okay, what colour will I use? And books are not designed with just one colour in mind. They are a variety of colours. You've only got to walk into a library and you will see the colours that are around. And isn't it good that we can have lots of colour? Wouldn't it be awful if all that's, you know, like I can remember when our books used to get covered just in brown paper. Can you imagine if we had books in the library, all brown paper and just the title on it? Because I gravitate to the picture often more so than the title. So any of you out there readers, and if you are, what's some good books that you've read? Harlan Coben is one of my favourite authors. I absolutely adore his books, and I watch the TV series because it's nice to see how they do his books. Sometimes they spoil it, sometimes they stick pretty clear to the storyline, and every now and then he likes to poke his nose into the story just as a cameo appearance in the background. I've only picked him up once, so you've got to be pretty good to spot him because it is a fleeting moment that he's in there. So, okay, Leanne, what's your favourite author? As I said, I like Harlan Coben because I love mystery books and crime thrillers. Richard Osman is another one I enjoy with the Thursday Murder Club. And Jane Harper, Margaret Hickey, Australian authors, really enjoy them because there's nothing nicer than having an Australian author. Well, I think, anyway. So now that I've done my books, I'm just going to use some yellow. And the yellow is more going to be just for some trim. I decided to just do the whole lot in one colour. I've just recently bought Candice Fox. I don't think I've read any of her books. I've just recently bought autobiography of Rose Batty. Haven't got round to reading it yet. I don't know if it might be too heartbreaking. And I'm reading one at the moment and I just can't remember the author's name. It's a book that was given to me to read. And if you're on here watching, Wendy, please tell me what it is. And I'm enjoying that one. My granddaughters love reading, so they're always into a book. Okay, there we go. Clean my brush. And take that out of the way. And I'm going to get my Winker Stella. And yes, I know I said this is a man's card, but I'm just putting a little bit of wink where the white pages of the book are. And the reason for that, the story is just a twinkle in our eye. Because when the story's there, we can get right into it. So there's that. Now I'm going to take just a tiny bit of the Pebble Path and I'm just gently colouring around the edge. And I have forgotten one of them. Got the two pieces out for a reason, but that's all right. I'll finish this. So I'm just going to put... You'll have to tell me a good one, Leanne, of Candice Fox. I'll have to check her out. Right. I'm going to stamp on here. I'm going to put just down the bottom here the books. And I love these little glasses. I just think having them sitting on top of the books are perfect. So I'll just colour this one in. So what's everyone's plans for this week? I know us on stage girls will probably be finishing off our swaps. Leanne, are you flying up with Kayla on the... Are you coming on the Thursday or the Wednesday? Okay. Follow this in. So the trick to the watercolour pencils is not too heavy with the water. Well, I am too, Lucia. I'm hoping the cyclone just goes anywhere else but Brisbane. I mean, I shouldn't say it that way, but, you know, decides to just stay out at sea. When I heard it last night, my biggest worry was, oh dear, being in the air or the flights getting cancelled. But I think they're expected this week. You're on the Wednesday afternoon. Yeah, we're travelling about, we're leaving Melbourne about lunchtime Wednesday. But I think the cyclone's expected this week, not next week, Lucia. I'm just praying it doesn't make landfall. The media are very good at focusing on the worst case scenario and nothing more. And how often have they said this is going to happen to this place or this is going to happen to this place? And then later on you find out it's been and gone and bypassed completely. I'll just finish these off. The idea was to do the stamping and the colouring all at the same time and then forget to add that on. So clean that. Get that a good squeeze out. Make sure my brush is clean. And get the Winker Stella out here. I'll wait that to dry. Okay. So now I've got our piece of card, which is 14.4 by 5 centimetres. I don't want that. I've got a retired punch because this was the only topper, tag topper that I had. So I'm just going to take that off. And it just gives a nice finish to the top of the card. And then I'm going to glue this into place. Leanne, did you buy this set at all, being a book lover? That there. Now I've got some basic beige ribbon. I'm just going to cut a piece off, and this probably be way too big, but that's okay. I can fix that later. I'm just going to pop that like so. And then I'm going to take, sorry, I'm off page, I don't mean to be, our Baker's Twine Essentials pack. I'm going to take the natural coloured twine, going to twist it around twice before I've got it. And then I'll go and tie a knot in the bow, in the thing, and put a second knot to hold it in place. Get it right, there we go. And then I'm just going to trim away, don't need it over long. And this is one of the beauties of doing it while it's still on the roll. Hello, Cherry. Oh, you've had the 2 kids again, have you? Hope they didn't run you ragged. Okay. What do you think so far? Are we getting there? I might just... Right. So we're going to take this, and this will fit very neatly right inside there. So I've got a lot of ribbon up here. I'm just going to make it a bit smaller. I think these need sharpening. Not doing what I want them to do. Just take my snips. I think somebody's been using them that shouldn't have been using them. Not accusing anybody, am I? You like the looks of it, do you, Lucia? So I said, it's for the book lover and for the mail card. Then I've gone and cut out the book. Beautifully designed and embossed. But I'm going to get a little bit of pecan pie. And I'm going to just gently sponge the edges because I want that colour in there to come out. And books are not, well, apart from a brand new pristine book, but I wanted to give that a bit of an aged look. Just enough colour to create that sort of a look. And with this, what I've done is I've just taken a couple of dimensionals and stuck them on. Whoops, I've forgotten one little thing. And I hope I didn't lose it. Knowing me and the way things have been going, I could have. Here it is. As I said, there was a little tiny piece, which is your pages of your book. I've die cut this out of basic whites, just a bit of scrap, but I put a little bit of adhesive strip behind it, our adhesive sheets. And the reason for that is it is so small and trying to glue it just doesn't work. It's got too many slots and it just oozes everywhere. So I'm just going to place that in place of where the bottom of the book is. And then I'll put a bit of Wink Stella on just to keep going with what I've done inside. I think I'll put another one just up here. I think that's... So take the backs off. And I'm just going to slot that into place just like so. Then I'm going to take the stamp that says this one's for the books. I'm just going to pop that in the middle there. And while I've got this out, and I should have done this before, but my brain only thinks one section of it at a time. Oh yeah, see, my granddaughters, they just devour books, absolutely devour them, and read them several times over. Okay, and I forgot one little bit of colouring, which I need to get my pencils out again. And I'm just throwing things everywhere. Just want the yellow on the inside. Pick up the colour, and I'm just going to colour the stars, because the person who's going to get this card is a 5-star person. Just pop that there. Now, if you find that you, and I had a dry cloth somewhere, there it is. If you're finding it's getting a little bit wet, which that for some unknown reason got wet, just gently dipping it to pull it up. And then pop that there. There we go. I should have done that before. So that gives it a bit of time to dry. Right. Yes, I did come a bit close, Cherry, and that was because I was doing the bits and pieces. I will come out a bit now because I'll get this camera to work for me. The wrong way. Whoops, it's flipped itself around on me. There we go. You didn't want to see the ceiling. There we go. Oh, am I still a bit close? I hope not. Now, Facebook are changing the way things are happening. They're not letting us store our videos on Facebook for more than 30 days. So if you want to go back and look at any of my videos, I have got them on my YouTube channel. And I will I always transfer my lives to the YouTube channel, so it's there for you to watch. You'll be able to get a lot more watching that way. Okay, just cut this out. And if I was smart enough, I would have had this done before, because you don't like to be watching me just cut all the time. It's bad enough what you're watching me colour. Cut that out. I just made it straight across the top. Then just came in here. I'm glad you like it better now, Cherry. I'm sorry, I did it because I was watercolouring, and you know, if I don't have people like you telling me to zoom out, I'd have kept it there. Would not have given it a second thought. So I'm going to put a small dimensional there, and I'll pop one there. And one about there. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue. Take those backs off. I think that this is a nice card because I'm pleased with it. I think it's a card that is really nice, the way this has turned out for a male. So I'm just popping that on there. Probably need that lift. Yes. I think I need 2 on there, on each of those, because of the thickness of the fold. I'll just pop them on. That's why it didn't sit right. I'll just take those off. And of course, always one of them decides to do something silly. Back there. Come on. Does not want to come off now. All right, I'll beat you to that. I'll put a bit of glue on you if you're not going to lift. I love mini dimensionals, but sometimes when they're small, they're not as easy to work with. And I'm going to glue all over my hands. A little bit more glue back there and just pop some glue on the dimensionals and pop them back in place, like so. There we go. And that was much better, adding that extra dimensionals to it. So then what I'm going to do is I've got some goldy gems. I'm going to use these on here. So I'm just going to pick up, just pop 3 large ones. I'm going to use 5. 3 of the large ones, and I'm just using the centre of the pattern. Pop them on, and this ties in the wild wheat that I've used for the book. I'll just come up you come. I'll just pop another one just there. So there's our front. So now that I've done this, I'm just going to take what's on the brush of the smoky slate, and I'm just going to put it around the bottom. And I've got a little strip which was just here, so I'm just going to sit that. I think I might use the opposite side to give it that bookcase look. So I'm just making sure I know where I've got to go to with the glue, because let's face it, we don't want glue where we don't need it. Sit that under the books. Like so. Across a bit further. Sorry if I'm going off camera, I don't mean to be. As I said last week, I need a beam, you know, like they have at tennis that goes beep when you're out of camera. There we go. And there's the inside of our card. So we'll pop that in. And I've got some more for you to have a look at. I've done a couple of different ones. So we'll pop that in there. Keeping our border, nice border around there. Just got a little bit of glue popping out here, so I'm just going to add that, and I'll give that when it dries, I'll use my eraser. So there's the bookmark card, like so, for you to give to the man in your life, or to the person you know that enjoys the books. I'll just clean these out of the way, and I'll bring in the others that I've done. So I've done a couple of feminine ones with a little heart on the book. You could put something different on there if you wish. So as you can see, they're bright colours. These are definitely designed more for females, and you can, just waiting for my camera to catch it up. You can see I've done a bow on this one, so it's a little bit longer, but but these I've just done a knot. So I hope you like these cards. It's a great way to do a mail card. So as you said, like there's what I've done there. And then on this one, there's what I've done there. So it's a great way to just do a little bit of colouring. I've used watercolour pencils for this particular one, but you can use your blends, whatever you wish to use. As I said, I think it's really good. I've done a square for this particular one. There I fussy cut, and I probably like the fussy cutting one, mainly because I like my sentiments to be that way. That's right, Lucia, that they'd make a lovely gift for somebody, and so they're really good to have. And yeah, so it took me a while to work it out, especially this little bit. So I said, don't emboss it before you do it. Do the extra piece and emboss. This, when I started this one, I did a bit of colouring, and I actually, now that I can see it on my screen, I like the bit of it colouring around it. So if I'd done a bit of colouring around these two, it would have given it a very different look altogether. But it doesn't matter what paper you use, you get a very different look on the cards. So yeah, it leaves you free to do whatever you wish. So I hope you've enjoyed that today. It was, for me, thinking outside the square, and I'm very, very happy with these. I would have loved to have put something on here. I did nearly. Let's see if I could fish it. I cut out, because this paper came from the storybook, friends, I cut out this little fella. But he was just a fraction too big, because I thought that keeps the Peter Rabbit theme. And I thought, oh, that would work, but no, he was just a little bit too big, I thought. You know, he you know, you could get away with it now that I see it on there. You know what? Now that I've seen it, let's put him on there. Let's just pick him up and put him on, because it looks bland. That's my opinion anyway. And you want it to tell a story. Grab my tweezers, and we're going to put him in place. There we go. Oh, I like that. I think that just finishes the book off perfectly. So we've got the little hearts on this one. It just adds that touch. You know, you could get a bit of cardstock and print on it the book title that somebody enjoys, or you could handwrite it if you wish. Here I used the glimmer paper instead of the thing. This is why I said we don't glue. Because see what the glue ends up doing? And it actually didn't stick very well. So I'll have to get back to that one. It's moved again. Whereas the adhesive sheet definitely holds it. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed making this for you. It was something different, and as Lucia has said, or Glenda, they're great gift ideas. Both of them have said the same thing. So yes, I do agree. I think they would make fabulous gifts for the book reader in your life. And the card is open to Christmas, birthday, anything. So you've just got it out there for them. So thank you very much for watching. I should be online next Monday. I don't think I'll be online the week after, but at this stage I'm not sure. But keep in touch. We'll catch you all next Monday, and if I miss you, I most likely will catch you at On Stage. So thank you for watching, everyone, and bye for now.